A beautiful scene as we start this AFA game of the week. Welcome to the Big Apple. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. It's the 49ers. It's the Giants. It is again the American Football Association. Cameron Duty here with DJ Kilgannon. DJ, it is good to be with you as always, my friend. And again, welcome to the Big Apple. We've had a couple of good adventures up this way.
Oh, we sure have been here a few times in our day. Excited for some AFA action here with the Big Blue and the 49ers. Two teams that are kind of really trying to get back on track, if you will, in this first inaugural season of the AFA.
Yeah, that is certainly true. The Giants 1-5 on the record on the season so far. The 49ers 2-4. Still time to, right the ship, if you will, as you said. And that all starts here today under the bright lights.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, in these matchups, people always talk about the games you can win, right? And whenever you look at the overall records of all these teams in the league, whenever you look at these two teams, all you can hope but think is this is a game that you have the chance to win. Statistically, the bottom two teams out of the four in the AFA up to this point, you got to be able to take this one.
We get started. A kickoff coming across the 25-yard line, as that is Jermaine Hawk with the run back. And the Giants will start the first offensive series. Quarterback number 6, Eric Alexander, under center as we get this game going. Welcome and a pleasure to have you all with us for some more action as we have a man in motion. That is the wide receiver, Emmett Ellis. On first down, it is a pass play to Ellis. Middle of the field there. He's able to pick up a quick 5.
Yeah, super heavy set box there for San Francisco. I was surprised to see that a pass over the middle was completed that easily with how many bodies they had packed in the box, but they brought a ton of pressure, and Alexander stood well in the pocket.
Second down, it is a give to the halfback. That is Arnold Simpson. His first touch of the day goes for 2. Quickly, it's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that one kind of shut down before it could even get started. They're bringing some other defenders. It looks like defensive backs or maybe some linebackers shallow to the line to blitz around the edges. That's what caught that runner on that last play.
As you see the starting lineups for both offense and defense at the bottom of the screen. Here's the throw on third down. Off the mark, there was a man there in the vicinity. That was Tino Austin, the intended target.
Yeah, that was Kevon Lurkland there in coverage. He was in a zone on that side of the field. And the throw was just a little bit way too off the mark, right? It did a little hitch route, whether it was miscommunication or Alexander just slipping on the throw, and just way too wild for it to be caught on that type of route.
So New York 3 and out, got to punt it away. Not even a full minute taken off the clock here. Oh, there is a tackle by the big man downfield. It's 1st and 10 to the 33 for the 49ers where they'll set up shop.
Cam, I'm curious to see how they come out of the gate. We've talked time and time again about this San Francisco offense and the potential they have in the backfield. I'm curious to see if today is the day they start implementing it a bit more.
You are exactly right, my friend. Power in the backfield there, and there is one of the men they hope to get started. Trunan Dunn, the halfback, number 47. He's also joined by Yaki Soba, number 24, and the fullback, Evan Lacey, number 20. They pack a powerful punch. They just got to get them going. As we see a man in motion, that's the very talented wideout Matthew Rogers. But they give once more to Trunan Dunn, who fights ahead for a couple maybe at best, and it's 3rd and 7 for the 49ers.
Despite the record of the Giants here, this isn't an easy team to run the ball against. These guys have 2 very solid middle linebackers in the inside of their defense that do a really good job of stopping the run.
Third down, It's a little shovel toss to Dunn, and still just going to come up short. Don't dislike the play there. It just really felt like maybe too many yards to try to gain on third down for it to work effectively.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. It got a good chunk of the yardage they needed, but with it being this early in the game, you're on your own side of the field. Setting up for a 4th and short is not exactly what you want. Not safe enough of a scenario to take the gamble. And, 2 very stagnant and slow offensive drives to start this game. Seems like it may be a slug race, if you will.
One of those nights possibly here in the Big Apple as Jermaine Hawk brings this one back out to the 29. Now, for the Giants side, we know Eric Alexander. We're kind of, waiting for him to have his big game. We've seen flashes of that. Oh, and
man.
You see he gets hit. I mean, blasted right onto his butt there by a great defensive tandem.
Yeah, that was, I believe, the first one on the hit. I believe we saw Kevin Lurkland get in there and blitz the QB a little bit, made a hard hit on him. It was at least one of the two people involved with the hit. 98 on the defensive line was also involved in the hit. That will make your quarterback see some stars.
Alexander going to go quickly here over the middle. It is covered very nicely, intended for Ace Millie. But this kind of goes back to the point I wanted to make, DJ. We've seen spurts of offensive brilliance by the Giants. Nothing, unfortunately, consistent. And I think that's where they need to turn the tide here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be hard against this defense. That was Kevon Lurkland again getting his name called early. Great coverage in the middle.
3rd and 16, trips to the right for Eric Alexander. Here's the snap. Pressure picked up nicely. He's got to throw it to his check down, though. That is the halfback Simpson, who only gets a few. And once again, here comes the punting unit.
Getting a little deja vu from the Giants drive, that last time out that they just had, right? I mean, not a bad play call. You get 6 yards out of it. Just certainly not enough to move the chains. It felt kind of like just conceding.
That it did. And now this punt is a pretty good punt here. Be fielded at about the 35-yard line. San Francisco, though, should have pretty good field position. And in fact, they will, as it is brought out by Yaki Soba to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, just a few yards shy of the center of the logo. I feel like if you're going to have a consistent drive, this is the time to do so. You don't have too far to go before you're in field goal range.
As always, just a little disclaimer, folks, the AFA continuing to accept players for a very fast, a rapidly growing league, as Matthew Rogers is able to reel this one in for 6 on first down. If you haven't done so yet, please go over to our Discord and join us.
Yeah, I think this is the type of offense New York needs to continue trying to play. San Francisco. We know this New York defense wants to pack the line and stop the run. It's only a matter of time before San Francisco gets them involved. So try and stop it before it comes.
Wonder rolls out, finds his man. They're going to call that a fumble as it rolls out of bounds. I don't know that he had possession long enough, and that's Santiago Jaquez, who is a pretty sure-handed back there.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Nonetheless, though, it did roll out. People were still diving for it, but it was just out. So, I'll call it first.
Okay, so didn't even get a review on that. They just go with it. 1st and 10 for the 49ers. Past midfield now. Toss play to the left. Here comes Truman Dunn. And you mentioned this run defense. Brody White in on the stop. They are very stingy to run against.
Yeah, the Joker, and like you had mentioned, Brody White. I mean, especially when they have them both on the field in the nickel, they can get to the edge quick for those sweeps. They can shoot gaps very well. It's a monster tandem in the middle for running offenses.
But I do have to say, as we see Truman Dunn again, they're trying to work this guy in. I think that this is something that's going to work only positively in the 49ers' favor as time goes on.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The more they run up the middle and keep these linebackers close to the line, the more they'll be able to pass over the middle.
3rd and short, and I believe Dunn's going to be stopped short. Coming up there, making the big stop is Esteban Jaquez. It's 4th and 1 for San Fran.
Yeah, we've got a Jaquez battle here in New York, but it looks like Prince Wonder and this offense are going to go for it in 4th and very, very short.
They go for it on 4th down. They just move the pile with Truman Dunn, and that is only going to give confidence to this young halfback.
Yeah, I love it. Great play call there. Every time he's run it up the middle pretty much, especially in this game, he's gained at least a yard. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop him despite how good your front seven is playing from only getting a yard.
1st and 10, and here is motion. Matthew Rogers moves to the right side of the screen. Wonder takes the snap, throws complete into a tight window. That's one of the best throws we've seen out of Prince Wonder in a while. 1st and 10, 49ers.
He absolutely is. His confidence is skyrocketing, right? And that's what a consistent drive will do for you in a game like this, right? Especially whenever your run game is involved. We talked about how it's going to open up the pass game. You saw those linebackers not in very deep zones at all. That gave Wonder the chance to try and fit it in between the tight gap between corner and safety, and he succeeded.
Keep an eye on Dunn as he's moving out to the edge of the formation. Here's the snap. Wonder gonna throw.
Oh!
Interception. Oh, it was a beautiful drive until the very last minute. And this is going to be a pick six all the way to the back of the end zone to the other side of the field. He is gone. Touchdown, New York Giants. That is Cam Satscat.
Wow. I mean, the absolute disbelief on my face, Cam, cannot be matched right now. Such a sustained drive for the 49ers ends in heartbreak and celebration here for the Giants. I can't believe it. It was such a successful drive. They go away from the run to end the drive when they had plenty of downs to continue running it and just throw a very, very risky throw into double coverage. That's the type of mistakes we've been seeing from this squad all year that they have to clean up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and as I'm calling that run back, it's like, is this really happening? I mean, from 100-plus yards inside the end zone there, brings it back out, goes the whole length of the field to the other side of the end zone. The extra point is good without moving the ball hardly a yard. The New York Giants are on the board and in the lead.
Closest tacklers near him were the offensive linemen, and they were huffing and puffing down the sideline, asking for the gas mask. Assuredly, now that they're on the sideline, not going to be able to catch a safety.
DJ, the run back took so long. We very rarely see a run back from that, deep in the end zone. I thought I was going to have to use that oxygen mask before it was over. That's an exciting play to get this New York Giants defense absolutely pumped, and San Francisco, they're still scratching their head. What do we have to do to capitalize on a good drive? As that is Yaki Soba running right side of the formation. He picks up 3.
I mean, we just talked about a few plays before that interception thrown by Wonder about how much confidence it brings in you as a quarterback whenever you're having such a good drive like that. You can wipe everything I said about that. That type of play he just had will drain every bit of confidence you had and every bit of confidence you think you could in the future.
Truna Dunn just about made a couple of men miss. If it hadn't been for Esteban Jaquez at the very end, I believe he was the one who finally got a hold on number 47.
Yeah, we've seen him make a few tackles tonight, getting involved in the run game. He's the one that made the tackle after they gained the first down, as well as the one who made the tackle right before the first down, forcing fourth down earlier.
Drops back, throws, has a man this time.
Oh.
The defender went for the interception. Now it's Matthew Rogers down the sidelines. 10-5, they won't catch him. Touchdown, San Francisco. Where is that oxygen mask?
Man, another risky throw from Wonder. But I'll tell you what, Cam, anytime you gamble, there's a chance you win. 2 defenders watch as that ball slips through their fingertips, and Brody White tries to chase him nearly there. You see him dive at the end and nearly misses, grabbing the foot there of Matthew Rogers. He was gone.
Good recap of that play, partner. I needed that.
I figured you might have.
2 lengthy calls for scores here in back-to-back series. How cool is that? The extra point is good. These 2 teams have came to play tonight, all tied up at 7 with 37 seconds to go in the first.
3 plays, 77 yards. And Cam, it's crazy to think that is the second longest reception of the night. And the longest reception of the night was by a defender.
Yeah, too true. What a night that we've had so far. It goes to show you anything can and will happen in the AFA. And I think that's really the beauty of it, watching these young players continue to develop. Here's Jermaine Hawk again, gets past the 25, tackled at the 27.
Yeah, now, if you're New York, I mean, your defense has certainly given you a lot to talk about there on the sideline, but that's exactly where this offense has been. It's been a good 4 or 5 minutes since we've seen this New York offense take the field, so they're going to have to brush the cobwebs off a little bit, and against a Niners defense that's held them very well up to this point.
As awkward as a tidbit of information that this is, the last time they were on the field, they were trailing.
Yeah.
So, and now here they are tied up at 7. Here's a toss play. Left side, that is Arnold Simpson, who runs for 6. And I'm like you here, DJ. This is just a good opportunity to prove yourself, to be able to maintain an established, lengthy drive for New York.
Yeah, and that's what you need if you're Eric Alexander in this big blue offense, right? You need a drive like that to keep you engaged in this football game and keep your confidence up.
Simpson stretching it out
Oh,
wide
wow.
open. He almost got rid of the defender in pursuit, but not quite. It's going to be no gain as we come to the end of the first.
Yeah, that play could have been a lot worse. A great block by the tackle there set up the pitch to go for just a bit more.
At the end of quarter number 1, it's the 49ers 7, Giants 7. You are watching the American Football Association on YouTube. Welcome you back to start the second quarter. AFA action, the game of the week. Cameron Duty here with DJ Kilgannon. It's 3rd and 4. A big potential proving play, if you will, for the Giants here and needing to convert. Alexander going to throw. It's tipped in the air, and they're not going to be able to come up with it. That was deflected and broken up by Prince Wonder, the cornerback.
Yeah, we're just seeing a ton of risky throws by both of these offenses, right? And that's something that happens whenever you're desperate. And I think that's something we can say confidently about both of these teams, Cam, despite what they may say or may display on the field. These guys are a little desperate, right? 2 wins for the Niners, 1 for the Giants. A second or third win for either of these teams would be huge as far as confidence goes through the rest of this season, right? And just getting something going as far as offense goes, there's a ton to be desperate about.
That is for sure the case. AFA standings, of course, you've got the Raiders at the top, the Patriots just behind them, a game back, and then you've got these two teams, the 49ers and the Giants, who still could certainly, if they can get things together, make a run of things, but definitely they're in a hole they need to start digging themselves out of right now. Here is Wonder going to try to get rid of it, and all he finds is some turf at the end of that one. Big time tackle by Slappy Clappy.
Yeah, a little gang tackle there, but Clappy was the first to make contact. You can see him attacking Wonder, and then a little bit of cleanup from the other side of that defensive line. Prince Wonder continues to get banged around in the pocket, and like we'd mentioned, that's just going to make him throw even more carelessly, I feel, Cam, if the pass rush is going to play that well.
Indeed, and that again is a testament to just how good this Giants defense is. Oh, but look at Truden and Dunn making a couple men miss and gets a lot of that negative yards back. So that brings up a 3rd and 2 situation that's very manageable here.
Yeah, we've said this about this guy before. He is just an explosive play waiting to happen. We've seen time and time again where he breaks 1 or 2 tackles like that. And once he has a little bit of green in front of him, nobody is catching him. Right, that looked like a situation there. Thankfully for the defense, Sad Scat was able to play some cleanup after the first missed tackle.
On 3rd and 2, Wonder throws short.
Oh.
It gets literally just enough. But you had Santiago Jaquez and Matthew Rogers both in the area there, and I believe it was Rogers who come up with it.
Yeah, you had tight bunch to the bottom side of the screen, and you run double hitches in that area of the field. That can be covered by one linebacker in a zone, and that's exactly what happened. But thankfully, he got a little mixed up by both receivers there and was able to go past him.
Man in motion there. Moves to the right side of the formation. Trips to the right for Prince Wonder, who's going to throw out of that. He completes it. A quick strike. That was a laser to Matthew Rogers. Gets close to the first down sticks. Gain of 9.
Yeah, there we go. Trying to keep things close when it comes to down and distance. Already over the century mark on the day with just 5 catches. That huge explosive play really got him a head start.
1 yard to gain. Give it to the halfback Dunn. Again, that explosive power on display right here. And again, we talked about, he's another point that we've mentioned in games past, DJ, is the fact that you can't really get him down by tackling him up high. You got to get him at the knees to the ankles here.
Yeah, that, and it's always best to have 1 or 2 making the tackle. You saw a pair of defenders cleaning it up there.
So 1st and 10, here is one pump fakes, then throws short to Rogers. Although kind of an awkward looking position there to be in, he catches it and gets 6 on the play.
Man, you're seeing these San Francisco 49ers here live and die by this hitch pass. They're going to it again there. It's certainly working, though. Prince Wonder only an incompletion, but it was a pick.
Wonder throws again, like you said, quick little tight sit routes, hitches, curls, whatever you want to call them. But so far, it's working, and another first down.
Yeah, it's all about the timing on this route. You're going to see the receiver upfield cut, and just as he cuts is when that throw is being made by the quarterback. That gives the defender not a whole lot of time to react to the ball, before that route is made. Because if you expect that route and you play too shallow and it's an over-the-top route, you're going to get burnt.
There's Dunn, bouncing off one defender, trying to pop outside there to the left side of the field, and he is stopped after a 9-yard gain by the Joker.
Yeah, these linebackers, again, very consistently always involved in these run plays. If they're not making the tackle, they're getting broken off of by these backs.
2nd and 9. Here's Wonder. Stepping up, throwing. That is a dangerous throw. Deflected there by the Giants, almost intercepted.
I'll tell you what, Cam, the thing that eats up these curl routes is zone defense. You saw the shallow corner playing in that area of the field, and he was completely in front of the receiver the entire time. It's almost like he ran the route for him, just couldn't pull it in.
Now here's Rodgers. Moving again, left side of the formation. Will Wonder look that way? He does. And he finds Rodgers in a pile of blue jerseys, but he's able to thread the needle. A great throw, even a better catch and run after. It's a first down.
Got to give Prince Wonder some credit there. You saw the motion pre-snap, and no one followed in suit. What that tells you is the Giants are probably going to be in a zone defense, right? So they have Rodgers run quickly up the seam in a spot where they know it's going to be in between two zones, and Wonder connects quickly before anyone can get there.
And this time they do follow suit.
Yep.
As you see William Simpson following Rodgers. They do throw that way, and it is broken up, incomplete.
Yeah, Brody White in man coverage there against the tight end. That's the matchup you're going to see more often than not, is these big coverage tight ends involved with these the big coverage linebackers involved with these tight ends. That's the primetime matchup you see in the middle of the field more often than not.
2nd and 10. Trunan Dunn goes out wide to the left. 2 receivers on either side. Empty set. Here's Wonder. Unloads, going for it all. It's incomplete, just a little ahead of his man, intended for Santiago Jaquez.
Well, too much mustard on that ball. Closest receiver in the area was wearing stripes.
Yeah, and is he from New York? Is he from Boston? You'll have to go down and check that out there. No, he's not. He's not revealed himself yet.
Eventually, exactly.
Here's another empty set. Wonder, he heaves it.
Oh!
Grab over top. The Giant defender in coverage. There's Santiago Jaquez down at the 1.
After what has been such a quiet day for the recipient of the Golden Gravy Boat, you see the jump ball matchup there, and he wins it all the way. William Simpson does his best to get a hand on it, but Jaquez turned his whole body, adjusted to the ball, and made a very nice catch in very tight coverage.
Oh, I love you mentioned that Golden Gravy Boat, that reference to our Thanksgiving Day event. How about Trunan Dunn high-stepping it into the end zone to put the 49ers back out front?
I'll tell you what, Cam, got to give credit to the 49ers here. That is the definition of adapting to mistakes, right? They got into the red zone last time. They decided to pass the ball. That's when we saw that interception taken back the other way. They get close enough. They run it this time, and it works just about as you'd expect.
A bit of a low snap, but it's handled nicely, and the extra point is good. 14 plays, 73 yards, just about 5 minutes off the clock. We're nearing halftime, and the 49ers have once again jumped out to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, New York just really needs to get something going offensively. We have seen the San Francisco defense really, really show up. The only points they have is from their defense, right? It seems like they're just playing in molasses right now, knee deep. They really can't get anything going. They seem slow. everything's getting bottled up before anything could really produce.
Yeah, I mean, a great analogy, the molasses there, it does feel very sluggish. And so, like you said, 3:15 to turn it around before they go to the locker rooms for halftime. Let's see what Alexander and company can do.
Tell you what, Cam, a lot of time you see that sluggishness, you think a team on the road making a far travel. This is in Big Blue. These are the Giants playing in their home turf.
Alexander throwing.
There
Here
we
you
go. See you later.
That's the play you need. It's Emmett Ellison. It's a foot race. 15, 10, 5. Ellis is gone. Touchdown, New York.
I mean, I guess all you need is one big play, and it puts you back into the game. We've seen again for the Giants that all they need is just one big play. This time, Eric Alexander stays strong in the pocket. The pressure is there, but he does not falter one bit. He sees Emmett Ellis take advantage of the weaker defense there in man on his post route, right? He slips past that pressing corner, and after that, he is just gone to the races once he catches it.
Yeah, Emmett Ellis breaking out of that molasses pit we were talking about, and which is exactly what this Giants team needed. Good read by Eric Alexander, too. The one-on-one coverage on the outside, taking advantage of it. The extra point is good. That lead for San Fran didn't last very long. 3:04 still remaining in this first half.
Lasted 14 seconds to be exact. That's how quick it took That's how quick it took Emmett Ellis to get down the field, I should say.
Incredible. Now, with 3:04 remaining, that does leave plenty of time for San Francisco here to be able to move the ball back down the field. You expect them to try to use the majority of that clock. Here is the run back out to the 30-yard line, and they will spot him right at the 30. That's Yaki Soba once more.
See the results there. Punt, pick, touchdown, really 3 touchdowns in a row if you think about it, but not in the favor of San Francisco. Hoping to make that another. I mean, after that last drive, their offense certainly got to be feeling a lot of confidence, right? Especially with how consistent that drive was. Those one-play touchdowns will make you feel good, but whenever it's a long, sustained drive, that just increases it even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. It shows that you can do it at a consistent pace. Here's Wonder. Rolling right. Throws that direction. Over top defenders is Rodgers, and boy, he took a shove at the end of it.
I'll tell you what, Cam, when I think of this 49ers offense and really this team as a whole, I think of two people. I think of Truman Dunn, and I think of Santiago Jaquez. But Matthew Rodgers is having himself a day. Already closing in, I was just about to say closing in on 150, past 150 now, nearing 10 catches, and the first half hasn't even come to a close.
Yeah, it has been a very, very impressive day so far. Here's Wonder again, looking his direction, down to the 30. Let's add a couple more yards to that stat sheet.
Yeah, I mean, think of New York, you think of that beautiful skyline, but the person highest in New York right now has to be Matthew Rodgers. He is on cloud 9. That catch putting Prince Wonder over 200 passes on the day, and like we saw on the graphic just beforehand, a good 170 or so of those are to Matthew Rodgers.
Ball spotted at the 29. They go back to the ground here with Truman Dunn. Got bottled up, but I got to really say that I'm enjoying the mix of run pass that San Francisco has came out here in today.
You read my mind, partner. That shows that they're not locked into this pass attack like we've seen in games past for San Francisco, right? They're switching it up.
So far, so good. We've reached the 2-minute warning and the American Football Association's Game of the Week. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. We'll take a breather and reset here before the start of this final 2 minutes of the first half. Another empty set. Truman Dunn going out wide to the right. Here's the snap. Wonder with a pretty good pocket, but they are able to get through. He couldn't get rid of the ball, and he's dragged down for a loss.
Very nice play there from the defensive line. Martin Chase, the one able to bring him down from that defensive tackle spot. But really, every defensive lineman was there in the pocket of Prince Wonder, pressuring him to throw one downfield. But I will say Prince Wonder making the right decision, holding on to the ball. Taking a sack is better than throwing a pick.
Yeah, and not to mention it was just a 1 yard loss. So it's 3rd and 11, a chance to roll out and throw here, and look who he finds, Santiago Jaquez. And this is what we're talking about, DJ.
Yeah.
These two, if San Francisco can get consistent in their game plan, I don't know. I mean, it would be tough for anybody in the league to really stop them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you had mentioned, if this receiving duo can really staple itself at the top of the charts, it's going to be scary facing San Fran in the future.
Here's Prince Wonder going to throw left side, tip bobbled, and that's always scary when you see that football hang in the air like that, but it does fall to the ground incomplete.
I'll tell you what, Cam, I just got immediate deja vu to that pick the other way. Run the ball. Truman Dunn will get you yards, whether it's a touchdown or whether it's a few. It's certainly going to help you in the long run.
And keep you out of harm's way from throwing that interception. It's such a tight window down here. And here's Dunn. He does get just that, a few yards inside of a minute left to play here in the second quarter. Empty set, DJ.
Well, they're passing now. Nothing to hide.
3rd and goal. Pressure picked up around the edges. Here's the throw. Oh! 2 defenders and reeled in for the touchdown, 49ers.
Wow. What a throw from Wonder. It's interesting that they go with a complete empty set. They say forget the run when you can throw. Wonder puts some great touch on it. You see it loft over the head of 2 Giants defenders, landing perfectly in the hands of their receiver. I think that might have actually been one of their backup halfbacks out there at receiver, able to pull it in right into the back of the end zone. Another great consistent drive there for the San Francisco 49ers.
Then that it was. Another 8 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 18 seconds, and I believe that was gold there on the reception. A golden play, no doubt, and again, that shows the 49ers' ability to really just use everybody and spread the ball around.
Now, 40 seconds left, though. San Francisco gives the Giants a little bit of time to go the other way. We know that's enough for this offense, though. They aren't afraid to take a shot downfield. Eric Alexander plays with some weight on his shoulders. Like we had mentioned, not afraid to gamble a little bit and make an attempt downfield to try and take the top off. We saw that at the end of the last drive, right? But like we had said, you want to see this New York Giants offense be consistent, right? Move downfield a little bit. Can't do that now,
10. Yeah, ball on the 28. Alexander throws quickly into really good coverage there. 2 defenders. That, I believe, was Lassiter on the coverage. Armani Lassiter. Yes, it's incomplete.
Yeah, he's been showing up in a big way. I remember calling his name a ton on our last Niners game of the week. He was all over the place in that game, right? And continues to be a very solid presence in the secondary.
2nd and 10. Alexander again going to throw. This time he does have a man out there. That's Tino Austin for Austin's first reception of the day, and he quickly calls the timeout.
Yep, there we go. Great presence of the clock there. Nice clock management. If you're not able to get it to the sideline and get out of bounds, make sure you're calling those timeouts often. Inches, though, we might see a run just to make sure the drive continues.
It is 3rd and inches. It's I formation. Alexander throwing. It's tipped in the air, incomplete. Prince Wonder was going for the pick, and he almost had it.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Cam. I think I would have liked to see the run there to try and set something up further. I mean, they still could go for it. It's inches after all. They won't. They're going to play what is known as smart football here and punt it away. But I probably would have liked to see the run, especially with timeouts in your back pocket, right? Thinking you would get at least a few inches sets you up for 1st and 10 on the next down, and then you can throw a little bit safer.
Well, I'll tell you what this is doing as well for San Francisco. It gives them about 20 seconds to work with to try to move their way down into at least field goal range. You know that they can do it. They've got the offensive weapons to do so. But here's a question we've not posed yet today, DJ. Remember, the kicking game has been struggling the last few weeks for the 49ers. Will we see that come into play? Wonder throws complete to Jaquez along the sidelines.
You cannot let him be that wide open while they're in the 2-minute drill. I say the 2-minute drill, but they're under half a minute here. And look at that corner route. You have the corner playing a shallow zone. He's just doing his assignment. The Joker gets caught up in his zone. That's just a cover 2 high zone with the corner playing shallow. That area of the field's going to be open every time against that defense.
16 seconds remaining here. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Prince Wonder, and 1 man in the backfield. Here's the snap. Wonder going to go deep, looking for it. Oh, and he almost had it. Broken up at the very last second by William Simpson.
That's the only lapse we've really seen for the receiver today, right? That was Rogers who wasn't able to haul that one in. But I mean, it's hard to make a catch whenever the defense is draped over you like that.
Yeah, absolutely blanketed. As we now have a 2nd and 10, 11 seconds remaining here. It's a handoff to Dunn. Bursting forward, gets the first down. Will we see a timeout called? They're just going to try to hurry up. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And now, are they in field goal range here, DJ?
Might be fringe field goal range. It's going to be risky. I mean, we've seen these kickers miss all year, Cam.
We have.
Even if it was, I wouldn't be sure of it.
And it looks like they will opt to go for the Hail Mary. Possibly a good choice here for this 49ers offense. 3 seconds remaining. What would it hurt? As long as they can defend here. Here's the throw into a pile.
Oh, my gosh.
Somehow Santiago Jaquez comes out at the end of it, but about 5 yards short of the end zone.
And I'll tell you what, call me a liar if you want, but I think that was despite him catching it, I think that was the better decision than kicking the field goal from that range, even if it was a little closer, especially the way this receiving core has been playing this game.
I agree completely. Sometimes your best special teams is a good offense, and they almost were able to make it stick there. It is halftime. The teams parting ways, going to the locker rooms, and in the meanwhile, we will welcome you in to the AFA Halftime Report here from the Big Apple. Camera Duty here with DJ Kilgannon, and DJ, simply put, this is 2 of the better halves of football that we have seen out of both the Giants and the 49ers in some time. Give me your thoughts, of course, and your predictions for the second half.
I think this screen you're seeing here, Cam, really tells the tape of this ball game. 13 minutes of playtime for the San Francisco offense as far as having possession of the ball, just over 3 minutes for the Giants. I think this game has been dominated by San Francisco. You see their total yards nearing 350 on the day, right? Flukes happen. This is a classic tale of consistent offense and, big plays, right? We've seen 2 touchdowns from New York at this point. Both of those plays 80-plus yards away. We had that first catch from about the 20-25 that got thrown on the post route, about first play of the drive that was able to break away for the touchdown, right? And then we had that 100-yard pick six the other way, right? Those are just 2 plays, not to say flukes, right? But that could happen at any time that a play gets broken and you're scoring the other way, right? San Francisco has been able to keep things solid, consistent, have a well-sustained drive that gets them to the red zone. Red zone touchdowns are a big deal. Right? When you get them, you actually made it there, right? And sustained well enough to put yourself in prime position. And New York just hasn't done that today.
No, you're exactly right. What has worked for them, of course, as you mentioned, the defense. They've came up big. Obviously they're with the pick six. They are within a touchdown, but you're right. You want the offense to be able to do a little bit more if you're for Big Blue. Our halftime hero at this point, and going to be hard-pressed to find anybody with better stats out there today. It's Matthew Rogers. We'll see how his second half goes right now. 10 receptions, 177 yards, and a touchdown as we welcome you back to Giant Stadium as we get set for the second half kickoff. We thank you guys for spending a part of your evening with us, as always, and thank you for doing your part in helping the American Football Association continue to grow. You will see the 49ers here getting the ball to start the second half. So the Giant defense going to be faced with a big-time stop early on in this second half. Here's the kickoff. The run back out of the end zone by Yakisoba. Gets past the 20 out to the 25. So we've got 1st and 10 here, DJ, as we've got the 49ers with pretty good position to start the ball. Trips to the right side. We'll see what they can come out with. They roll out. Throwing right side. It is complete again to Matthew Rogers, DJ. No, incomplete. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they'll call that out of bounds. Curious to see that. Wish we could see that on a replay. But you had the rollout to that side of the field by Prince Wonder, and it's another situation where the Giants are playing Tampa over the top, those two deep safeties, leaving that corner route just wide open for the taking. But thankfully there for Big Blue. A little bit too big of a shoe size there for Rodgers, just shortly out of bounds.
Makes you wonder, too, are we going to see a more pass-heavy approach out of the 49ers at the onset of this second half? They go 2 for 2 through the air. There's Wonder.
Wow.
Well, why not? That's
Oh,
Matthew
man.
Rodgers again out to the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Cam. A lot of times you'll see this from receivers in sim football, right? You'll see a huge half of production, and whether they have a big lead and decide to run the ball a little bit more, whether they, just slow down and spread the love a bit more. Matthew Rodgers continues an enormous day with another huge catch to start this half. We may see something record-breaking.
But quite possible, and setting records here in the AFA. If it's not Matthew Rodgers, it's Santiago Jaquez. He's in on that reception for 9.
Yeah, I don't believe at this point that we've seen we saw that backup halfback make the catch in the back of the end zone. I don't believe we've seen another besides some dump offs to the flat that have been caught by anyone else.
There is Trunan Dunn, and he just kind of bulldozes his way forward, knew how much he needed, and he picks up the yard or so.
Feels pretty surefire. That's what we always talk about with this team, Cam. Take those more.
Ball inside the 30. Already in the Giant territory. Dunn popping it out right side, followed nicely by the Joker.
Yeah, again, these linebackers showing up in a big way. I feel like the inside run is really working well for San Francisco. These linebackers are just too quick getting to the outside to really let those long developing runs work.
Wonder going to throw quickly, and that's hipped, deflected. I believe it was Brody White who got a hand on it. It's 2nd and 10, or no, I'm sorry, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, I think if that one was held on to a little bit longer from Wonder, we could have seen another pass over the top that took the top off this defense, but a little too antsy there as the pressure was surrounding him.
3 receivers to the right. Wonder going to go back to the middle of the field. Has Santiago Jaquez down to the 5.
Like we harped on at half, another very well-sustained drive for the Niners, where they are now again in the AFA red zone. Right now, you feel like they can really do whatever they want. We've seen them score in this area of the field. We've seen them run it with relative ease, especially just outside the 5. We could see 2 runs punch it in. See the numbers there. 2 receivers over 100 for the Niners, and one of them is over the 2-century mark.
Wonder going to throw short. Out there is the tight end, Jay Ballmer, waiting on a wide receiver screen. He maybe got 2, well defended by New York.
And, usually you'll look at that play and not think a whole lot of it, but that's very nice there for the Niners. That'll set you up past the 5, right? It makes the run a little bit more possible. Makes the pass a little bit harder, though, and we know they love to do that.
Second and goal, Jaquez in motion. Wonder looks left, goes for Rodgers. It's broken up. Good coverage, and that brings up a 3rd and goal situation.
Nearly an even dozen catches there for Rodgers. Great coverage by the linebacker. Sticks with his zone. You see him getting all the way out there and getting a hand on it to force the incompletion. Not often you see a linebacker be that good sideline to sideline.
So we've got 3rd and goal coming here for the 49ers. Ball spotted at the 4. Prince Wonder going to try to shovel it. Some interference.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. He tried to just kind of shovel it. We seen it earlier, and I don't know whose big body got in the way there. Oh, it was
He just missed it.
Yep, he just missed it.
Oh, my goodness, Cam.
Oh, New York.
Mistakes always biting them.
Oh, we got a challenge here.
I'll tell you what, I do think that was forward, but still, nonetheless, if that's caught, I'd argue that's a touchdown for Trunan Dunn. You got to connect there. No one was in the area.
And we'll get
now
a
you'll
chance.
have 3.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look here at. Yeah, I mean, honestly, It looked
That's
as if he
close.
didn't even get that ball to Trunan.
That is close. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
So San Francisco
Good
able to
challenge.
save their drive. Good challenge.
Yeah, they'll get some points out of it, like we had mentioned. You know, that's best case scenario if you're San Francisco here. But really, that should have been a touchdown. I mean, that's one of the mistakes we're seeing that we talked about earlier, right? Prince Wonder
Yep.
just gets a little bit too antsy, you know, a little bit of anxiety, just trying to get things out too quick and forces it. Just a slight mistake again that nearly went in the favor of Big Blue again.
Indeed. And if I can be transparent, I've never liked those type of plays. Here's the kick. No. It is good. San Francisco able to extend their lead to 10 as Peterson, their kicker, is able to put it through, definitely in his wheelhouse there.
I'll tell you what, Cam, I mean, I completely agree with you. You look back on that play, he pitched it. Why? Extend your arms out and give it to him, and that it's the same exact play. You know what I mean? It's just,
yes, sir.
You know he's going to hold on to it, right? No room for mistake if you're handing it off rather than trying to get cute and shovel it.
And, you know, Trunan Dunn, someone who up to this point in the AFA, he has had fantastic ball carrying skills. I don't think he's even had a fumble yet in his career. So a little risky there. They're lucky that that challenge worked in their favor. It is a 10-point lead. The Giants, though, they just about come up with another big break.
Yeah, nearly did. You saw the last 5 drives there for Big Blue. The longest of their last 5 drives ended in a punt, and it was 1 minute and 5 seconds. They have not had a play, or a drive, excuse me, that has been 4 plays or more tonight.
Here's Alexander. Goes deep early to start.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how about Emmett Ellis and the concentration as it was tipped, deflected, and then reeled in.
Man, yeah, like you had mentioned, fantastic conversation. Eric Alexander again putting the trust in this guy to get it over the top. Great defense there, blanketed all over him. But Ellis is just having that type of night where it's hard for him to drop anything. I mean, man, Ellis is really the only shining light in this very bland offense right now tonight.
Yeah, and look at this. How about Arnold Simpson?
Wow.
Out of the gate, he said, DJ, I'll take that statement and raise you a rushing touchdown. How about the Giants? Where did the rushing attack come from?
It came out of left field because it didn't seem like the Niners were expecting it at all. No linebackers towards that area of the field that they ran to, and if there was one, he got blocked before he could really do anything. Yeah, you see him shoot the gap there. He gets caught by a guard and just outruns Armani Lassiter, someone who's a fantastic sideline-to-sideline tackling safety. Arnold Simpson just puts on the wheels and hits the gas pedal.
Wow, what an explosion by this New York Giants offense. It took 2 plays to tie, or I shouldn't say tie, excuse me, but to get this closer here, as with the extra point, they'll get it within 3. The extra point is good. This has been certainly a fantastic game for your game of the week.
I mean, they score again. The statement still rings true that we said at the first half. They still haven't had an offensive drive last more than 3 plays. All of them have been 3 and outs, a punt, or a 1-play touchdown, excuse me, or in that case, a 2-play touchdown.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Still kind of searching for that consistency. Ball will be spotted at the 22 after the run back here by Yaki Soba. 4:30 remaining in the third quarter.
I'll tell you what, their style of offense, though, is certainly the style you want for a team that is trailing in the ball game. Scoring quick, scoring often, not taking a whole lot of time off the clock and letting your opposition have to do that.
Wonder going to roll out here. He looks, throws, incomplete. Nobody really home. I think he was going for Jaquez, but not on the same page. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, tried to connect on another corner route. We've seen them do that time and time again when they run deep cover 2. And that time, it wasn't cover 2 and kind of bit him there. Very shallow from the corners here at the top, you can see.
Lining up in the eye here. As it is a give that goes backwards. Trunan Dunn going nowhere. The New York Giants defense able to hold.
think that was a big number, 50 there in the backfield, able to get the tackle for loss. We haven't seen San Francisco have a very negative drive here in a while. That'd be a nice confidence boost for this New York Giant defense.
Definitely. Fake handoff. Wonder going to go deep. Has his man. And boy, that is just, in a word, demoralizing for this Giants defense. You think you've just about got him off the field. Here comes Matthew Rogers.
Yeah, and you see it again. They go to the corner route. We've seen it from play action a whole lot tonight. And they weren't even in the cover two that time. You could see the defender trailing him there, trying to keep up with him. That's number 27 for the defense, who was just a few yards shy of being able to get a hand on it. Even dozen catches now for Rogers.
You see the comparison between himself and New York's highest receiving target there, Emmett Ellis. He's a yard short of 100. Meanwhile, Matthew Rogers, over 200 receiving yards on the day. Good run by Dunn. Going to be second and short.
Man, you got to give him credit on that run. Slappy Clappy is the one who made the tackle, and he was the defensive end on the far side of the play. He broke so many tackles that the big defender was able to catch up.
Second and a couple. Give again to Dunn. He's got nowhere to go because the Giants just snuffed that one out. And there once again is the middle linebacker, the Joker.
Yeah, we've talked about Sherman Dunn's explosivity and how we want to see him get involved. But like we had mentioned earlier, it's going to be hard to do that against this defense, and the Giants holding that thought true.
3rd and 4. Here is the handoff, the give right up the middle where Dunn's done some of his best work, but he won't get there again because the Joker wins battle number 2.
Yeah, you could see as they called motion on that play, the Joker stepped up into the box, right, and was playing along the line, kind of telling you that it's either a stunt or he's just going to shoot that gap all the way, right? And whenever you're running to that spot, I'd like to see a change at the line there after seeing that defensive movement.
2:20 remaining in the third as New York gets the ball back. That is going to be certainly a confidence booster for the Giants. Now, is this moment, I should say, going to be the opportunity when the Giants are able to put together a solid, consistent, methodical drive? We'll find out. No time like the present. Here is a handoff. Up into the middle of the pile goes the halfback, maybe gets one.
Yeah, not as explosive as that last run was there for Simpson. Gets wrangled in, 5 yards, 58 yards on that touchdown. Over 11 average per carry. They haven't run a whole lot, but he's been able to capitalize when they do.
Alexander throwing with pressure right at his face, and it's batted away. Benjamin Simpson with the swat down.
Yeah, huge play there from San Francisco. Ton of pressure there, forcing Eric Alexander to make a bad throw. We didn't even get to see if it was a contested receiver he was throwing to because the defensive lineman got up in a hurry and spiked that one down.
Trips to the right here on 3rd and 9. Alexander going to step up, throw, has a man. Great reception. There's a spin move to get some extra yards. That is the first target for Malik Sadneighbors.
Yeah, and a huge one it was, lofting it over the secondary there to Sadneighbors. Steps up in the pocket. Great throw. Another corner attack. We're seeing a whole lot of them in this game. The Giants moving away from those hitch passes we've seen them do a bunch tonight, right, and kind of take the top off things. That's really where they've had their success, right, those explosive deep passes.
And you know something, DJ? This could be the spark that this offense needs to make a methodical drive out of it. Here's a quick throw. Oh, that was scary. That had the chance of being intercepted as it made its way to the ground. They were still trying to scoop it up off the turf. It does fall incomplete, however.
I'll tell you what, partner, every Giants fan nearly almost wanted your head. You talk about that will-sustained possibility of a drive, and then Eric Alexander almost makes you eat your words.
Yeah, I about got run out of New York. It would be very reminiscent of you in Boston if that were to be the case.
Oh, come on. They love me.
They sure think a lot of you anyway.
They do.
Second and
I think a lot of them too. Sorry.
Alexander throws.
Oh!
No! Still come after me. The interception. Oh, how about that? The big man stepping in there. Julian Peterson with the INT.
I mean, why take the risks there? You see him right there in coverage. Even if you don't throw it short, the safety's right over the top to make a play. Just way too risky, especially on your only well-sustained drive of the night. You got to play smarter and cleaner.
And you got to wonder if, as that ball left Eric Alexander's hands, if he's thinking, man, I'd like to have that one back.
I got to imagine so.
So San Francisco already with a 3-point lead will take over here. Minute 29 left in the third. Here's the handoff to Dunn. Stopped really just barely past the line of scrimmage. They'll credit him with a yard before he's brought down by the Joker once more.
Yeah, they have one of their linebackers play close to the line of scrimmage more often than not, and he kind of eats that extra block from the line, and that other linebacker is usually just wide open to make the tackle.
Well, here comes Dunn, goes into the pile, comes out the
There we
other.
go.
Big head of steam. The ref there trying to get out of the way as he sees these gridiron greats rumbling down the field before he is shoved out of bounds. That is what we know Trunan Dunn can do.
Yeah, that's that explosivity we talked about, Cam, and the ability to break tackles. And like it's the exact scenario we talked about earlier. Breaking an early tackle, having all that green in front of you and taking advantage of it, right? You have to have multiple tacklers on this guy or he's going to make you pay for it.
Inside of the final minute here in this third quarter, Dunn over the 100-yard mark. That might be the first time. We'll have to fact check that a little bit later on, but that may be his first 100-yard game of his career, and he keeps adding to it with 3 more here.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it in games past where we want to see Dunn get more involved, right? In this game, they're certainly using him a good bit. 23 carries, 113 yards. He's kind of the catalyst of their offense, especially whenever they do pass. He's opening up that passing game.
Indeed. They go back there with him, 3rd and 6. And another interesting stat there, DJ, was the fact that 50 yards was after the first hit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's such a crazy stat, right? I mean, whenever you talk about after the first contact, when I think of after the contact, he's one of the first guys that come to mind here in the AFA.
We move on to quarter number 4, and we've got a great one here. 49ers leading the Giants 24-21. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. Start of the 4th and final frame here in New York. What a enjoyable time we've had in the Big Apple. One more quarter to decide it. The 49ers are moving. Here's Wander throwing. Oh, and he throws the interception. Gives it right back. That's Sad Scat with his second of the day.
Certainly doesn't take it back the other way, but Wander in frustration. And I'm wondering why we are continuing to throw risky throws. I mean, you're trying to do what you've done a few times tonight to Rodgers, right? But you have the lead. You don't need to take these huge risky opportunities downfield. You're playing ahead.
Man, I got to tell you, that 2 straight drives that there has been questionable interceptions to keep both teams well in it here. Let's put it that way. For the Giants, they have the opportunity to still try to make something of it as that pass is caught for 6 yards. And, just keep them hanging around, and that's what you can't have happen, no matter how good of a day you've had if you're San Francisco.
I'll tell you what, Cam, we're going to have to check all the betting apps and make sure Prince Wonder doesn't have a bet on the Giants in this game.
Oh, man, tipped. Oh, my goodness. Alexander about had another one there. That was close as Kevon Lurkland was lurking there, and he almost had his first interception.
Oh, you took it from me, partner. Our heads were in the same area, I'll tell you what. But, yeah, we've seen him dominate in the middle of the field today. Any pass that's really in the area, he's had a hand in making the tackle shortly after, therefore, or being able to bat it down.
3rd and 4, rolling out Alexander. This time he makes the right read as he finds Malik Sadneighbors adjusting his body to the pass, and he's able to get the reception. He hauls it in.
Yeah, that first half showcase was Emmett Ellis's time. Now the attention switching over to Sadneighbors. You see him burning the 2 defenders, trying to keep chase with him, and a beautiful throw right in the middle of the hashes.
And Sadneighbors has very good speed. When he gets open, he's very tough to contain. Pressure coming around the edges. Alexander throws, finds Sad Neighbors again, down to the 35. And like you said, it's time for Malik to have his coming out party here.
Yeah, and certainly doing it in a big way. We've seen him have some huge plays, in previous games, but we really haven't seen him be the focal point of a half of offense here for the G-men, right? And certainly doing so now. The shallow corner there, Prince Wonder tried to make a play on the ball. The Sad Neighbors breaks to the outside pretty quickly. 4 for 82 on the day.
Quickly closing in as the receiving leader for the Giants. Not far to go to get that away from Emmett Ellis. Here's a brutal run for Arnold Simpson. They had him low. They had him high. He is dropped for a loss.
Yeah, San Francisco is not going to let up another big run for this guy, right? I can't imagine easily, at least, getting punished for the earlier big play he was able to get.
So 2nd and 11 here as we see Emmett Ellis in motion. Moves over to the left side. Keep an eye on that. They do go back to the ground here with Simpson. It's a little bit better. He picks up 4, and that's going to make 3rd down a little bit easier here for the Giants. They need this one.
I love that they are mixing in the run, though, Cam, and make sure to keep the defense honest because we've seen them be really only pass here in the second half, apart from a few runs, but majority pass, right? So just making sure the defense knows the run is a possibility is going to help.
Pretty good pocket to throw out of, and he finds Emmett Ellis. There he is, inside the 20. The Giants are in the red zone. What a throw.
I'm sure they're going to show the graphic as they line up to the line of scrimmage, but Ellis breaking the century mark with that catch. Just looks like he's on a streak right against the corner as he's pressed up on him, fights the battle, gets past him, makes a nice catch just past him.
Yeah, as he had Prince Wonder beat, and what a beautiful throw that Eric Alexander was able to just float in there. There Ellis goes again in motion back to the left side. We're down to just about 5 minutes to play here in this 4th quarter. Alexander throws that direction out of bounds, incomplete. Led him a little too far.
Yeah, definitely. You got to throw that one a bit quicker. You can't let any downs go to waste now that you're in the red zone. 1st down will do you great. Let you get some more plays under your belt. You don't need to get too risky, though. I mean, play like you're at the 40, right?
Yeah.
The goal is that yellow.
Ball spotted at the 15. Here's Sad Neighbors moving from left to right.
Got a bad feeling, partner.
Alexander gonna throw it just behind Emmett Ellis. And he had his men beat too, just not able to connect.
Yeah, you got to be able to take advantage of that lapsing coverage. We've seen Ellis and Alexander do it all night. Just a little bit behind him. If that one is led to the back of the end zone, Ellis is going to make that catch and drag his feet successfully.
Yep, the touchdown and the lead. It was right there on the cusp. But now they are faced with a 3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. And here is Alexander. Gonna throw right side, contested, and falls incomplete. That will bring on the special teams unit.
Benjamin Simpson there involved in the coverage, trying to connect once again with Sad Neighbors. No avail, though. The G-men forced to kick here, and a 31-yard attempt. I mean, you got to nail this. If you don't, we're going to see some riots in the street.
Oh, yeah, we are. 31-yard attempt. Got to get this one. The kick, it is good. He sticks it, and we are all tied up. That was an 11-play, 74-yard drive, so the Giants do get their, really crazy to say in the 4th quarter, but their first real sustained drive of the day. They get 3 points out of it.
I'll tell you what, partner, I wouldn't be shocked. The number's probably like 12 or 13, but all the other plays they've had offensively added up are probably right around the amount of plays they played on that drive. And once again, we see them kind of slow down once it comes to the red zone, unable to finish what they started, but at least they started something. That's something we've been harping on. We can't harp on them too much, right? At least they had this well-sustained drive despite not being able to finish it. They did enough, though. The game is tied, and now your defense needs to come up with a big play, which they've continued to do against Prince Wonder all night.
Yeah, and let's not forget it was that turnover by Prince Wonder that kind of set this whole catalyst into effect. Wonder going to roll right, but then throw left into double coverage, and it's a good thing that was over the head of everybody. I don't think there's any way even Santiago could have came up with that one.
Yeah, just way too much mustard on it once again. And that's that angst a little bit we've been talking about, the pressure getting to him. He throws just a little bit errant.
All tied at 24 here late in this one. Out of the pile comes Truman Dunn, falls forward to pick up 4.
Yeah, now the playbook a little lackluster here for San Francisco. You feel like you got to pass out of this. I would hate for them to go back to that shovel. So it's sitting in the back of my mind here, Cam.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, partner. Here's the throw. Nicely adjusted that time by the halfback. That was Gold, who we have seen come in here time and time again. He's got a touchdown on the day.
It sure does. And, that's something we mentioned when the Giants had the offensive possession last time out, is that they just need to play ahead of the sticks. Don't try and take the top off every time. Notice how we don't mention that for San Francisco, because they're okay doing that. They do it well. They play ahead of the sticks. They don't get too ahead of themselves.
Oh, look at Truman Dunn bursting out of the gates down to the 40 as he streaks past that big midfield logo and moves into Giant territory.
I'll tell you what, partner, this game almost feels like an I told you so. First of all, a great block there from Lacey out in front to be able to set up that run for Truman Dunn. Really the catalyst of it, the reason he had so much room to run with. But like I said, it feels like an I told you so game. 26 attempts, and he's just proving why he should have been used like this from the jump.
That is a fact. Here's Wonder rolling out, really effectively using the sideline over there to drop that one into Santiago Jaquez.
Yeah, great throw and another corner route. You see him fighting there with the corner, kind of maybe got away with a little bit of shoving there at that high point of the route before he cut it out, kind of shoved off of him to get a little bit of extra separation. And if it's not called, it didn't happen.
Wonder if, for San Francisco here, if they think about maybe slowing it down a little bit and trying to run some more clock here, as done with the carry. He's decked immediately by the Joker. Boy, those two have went at it all night.
Yeah, certainly have. I mean, things are certainly heating up in this game. It certainly feels like these teams shouldn't have this low of a record. Apart from the mistakes, the score of the game, though, telling a different tale.
2nd and 11 coming up here, as it is another give up the middle. They go with Truman Dunn. That's going to set up a big-time 3rd and 8 here as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I mean, they're continuing to not really risk anything, and I think that's exactly what they need to do. They need to keep that mindset now that they're in the AFA red zone.
See if they let the play clock wind down here. They do not. They snap it. Wonder left back across his body.
Oh,
the interception. Oh, my goodness. Tipped and incomplete.
Armani Lassiter nearly drove a dagger into the heart of Prince Wonder there. If that was picked off, Cam, I would have had some serious questions for this young QB and this 49ers offense, because that would have just been terrible.
For the lead, a 34-yarder, that is good. That brings us to the 2-minute warning, and I think we're all very interested at how this one is going to end up. For the moment, San Francisco has the lead.
They sure do. 2 minutes for Big Blue to play.
2-minute warning, folks. You're watching the AFA right here on YouTube. We welcome you back in here after we took a quick breather to compose ourselves and get ready for what's going to be an exciting final 2 minutes. Here is the run back out of the end zone. Comes Jermaine Hawk past the 20 out to the 25, right where his knees hit that white chalk. And we'll see what Eric Alexander and this Giant offense can do.
I mean, if you're going to have another one of these big drives where you're consistent, right? This is the time to do it. You don't want to leave a whole lot of time for San Francisco to be able to punch it back the other way.
Here's Alexander. He throws quickly to Emmett Ellis. Yeah, 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, he continues his post-century mark day as far as his receiving yards go. That's a great start for Big Blue. Seeing them be consistent and attack short is a great sign.
Alexander
Oh,
throwing. That's
man.
tipped up in the air. Oh, my goodness. And trying to come up with it there at the very last minute was Storm Duck. He was headed that way for that football.
I got to say, Cam, I like the attempt, though. Trying to attack over the top to Ace Millie, the tight end, right? You know the corner isn't going to be able to pick that off with how quickly he threw that ball in. So it's at least worth the attempt. But now it feels like all or nothing. Certainly 4-down territory, though.
Yeah, 3rd and 6. Here is Alexander. Throws
Oh,
into a
man.
pile, and that does bring up 4-down territory. It all comes down to this, DJ.
Yep, certainly does. You know another pass is coming, and San Francisco back-to-back pass deflections. Not spelling well here for the Giants. Oh, and they're
the punt.
punting?
Whoa.
Wow. Maybe a fake. No way. I'm shocked.
And they do. It's
Trust
kind
in
of,
the defense.
yep. Hopefully it's not conceding there.
I hope
It
not.
could very well be the case. Really, all that it's going to take is 1 first down for San Francisco here, and this game is over.
Tell you what, it's far too late to change the play call now, but I completely disagree.
Yeah, I think you just rolled the chips. I mean, that's what brought you to the dance. You may not have a chance to touch this football again the way the 49ers have been able to move it at times during this game. They rely on Troon and Dunn here, and of course, yes, the timeouts will start to be called.
I will say, you know, for the Giants here, you know they're going to run to chew clock away, right? Up until that 3rd down, if it's still 3rd and long, then they may result in a pass, and then maybe you're banking on a mistake from Prince Wonder, and from this game, that's very well could happen.
Yeah, here we go, and back into a big mass of blue jerseys is Troon and Dunn. They tackle him instantly. 2nd timeout called for.
And, you know, we had mentioned earlier, this Giants defense is not easy to run against, and that's what's making it so hard right now is they know they're going to run, right? So it's even harder to produce.
It's 3rd and 10. Here's a handoff to Dunn. He will not get past the line of scrimmage. They do trust in their defense. They have to call their 3rd and final timeout, but San Francisco here will have to punt it away.
So I guess I'll offer the question to you, Cam, and then give the scenario for the fans at home, right? You either pass or run there. There's a good side to the coin for each, right? If you're running the ball, you're guaranteed going to waste that last timeout for New York, right? But if you pass and you get that 1st down, you win. That's the ball game. That's all she wrote. You know, they won't have enough timeouts to play with. So I'm curious, if you're a coach, what do you call in that spot on 3rd and 10?
All I'm going to say is you have Santiago Jaquez and Matthew Rogers on either side.
But I'll match you with you also have Prince Wonder under center, who has been very mistake-prone in this game.
I still think I want to take a chance at it and trust my defense.
Trust me, I respect that, partner.
Yeah.
You know, I love it.
Well, I'd hoped you would, but I do truly feel that way. That you got those guys. Give them a shot. Here's Alexander again throwing into just a mass of bodies down there. It is incomplete.
Yeah, they need to spread their backfield out, put more receivers out to each side, so you have more routes downfield. I mean, they have people in their backfield, maybe one at most, to have an extra blocker, but you need multiple receivers.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. As here we go. As this play, interception, that's going to do it. And it's Prince Wonder who comes up with the play to end this game.
Looks like they made the right decision. You see him playing over the top, right? And that's one problem whenever you're lobbing in a pass like that over the top. He was completely to his backside. He was a good 2 or 3 yards away there from the receiver. He had enough time to go out in front of him on that route and pick that off.
And so in the end, the 49ers do trust that their defense will get the ball back or at least keep New York out of the end zone or out of the crosshairs of the goalpost. And it's going to prove well for the Giants as they advance to 3-4. The Giants, a hard-fought game, a lot of improvement from what we have seen, but they'll fall to 1-6.
Yeah, I mean, they live by they live and die by that deep ball, right? They
They
take another
do.
shot for it, they get picked off, and a very fitting way, I feel, to end this ball game.
And that would be the same. I agree with those sentiments exactly. As we reach the final kneel down, as that brings us to the final seconds, DJ, I'll go ahead and let you wrap it up here. We'll make it a condensed close to this game, as we've probably gave the player of the game. But I have to imagine you'd continue to put that at Matthew Rogers, correct?
Yeah, gotta give him the nod. He had such a fantastic first half, right? He got a catch come the second half, and then he hit a dozen, and then had one or two after that, I believe. But well over 200 on the day, touchdowns as well. Able to punch it in to end things, right? Would give it to Prince Wonder, but just the multiple mistakes really
Yeah.
just you got to look back on that 400 passing yards on the day.
Hmm.
231 of those go to Matthew Rogers.
And yeah, how about that time of possession? 22 minutes for San Francisco, only 9 for New York, and it
Wow.
still ended up being just a 3-score game. Final score San Francisco 27, New York 24. Big thanks to our AFA Commissioner Brady White and to each and every one of you who have tuned in. Remember, continue to get involved in this American Football Association. Find us over on Discord. Get your helmet and get involved in the action. Until next time, for my partner DJ Kilgannon, I'm Cameron Duty. Have a good night.
Peace out. Oh, shit.